Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Activity Call Live. Now let's hear it for our special guest host, Clay Mertes.
That's right. Thank you very much, Billy. Thank you, audience of America. My name is Clay Mertes, coming to you live from the Alliance Studio up here in Burlington, North Carolina, Burr, Vegas, baby. It's a destination city. If you've not been to the corporate office in North Carolina, you got to check this deal out. It's unbelievable. And I'm joined here right now by the LPT. We're going to be talking about investing today. And then I've got a couple extra special guests. They're going to talk about their experiences investing in their business so you can get a real picture of two highly successful agents within the Alliance. So special guests here to come. LPT, thank you for joining me today. On my right here, I have Jake Steinberg. This is his second week, baby. He's here live. You enjoying it so far, Jake?
Oh yeah, I'm just loving it.
Loving it, man. And here to my left, you probably know her. This is Kat Lewis, 2 years with the Alliance. She's absolutely been killing it in LPT. So if you don't know her, you need to know her. Say what's up, Kat.
What's up?
So we're excited to share some stuff on investing, about growing your business, about utilizing the Alliance corporate staff and the people that Andy invests in. My name is Clay Mertes. This is my 8th year at the Alliance. Jake, 8 years ago, brother, I answered a Craigslist ad. I know, like, we don't use Craigslist anymore. I mean, maybe we do. We should maybe start using Craigslist again because you found me. I answered a Craigslist ad. It says sports-minded individual, okay? It had 3 bullet points. It said hardworking, ethical, must have a valid driver's license. I said, that's me, baby. I said, that's me. So I responded, and the guy called me, and he just started talking junk to me. And he started selling me the vision, selling me the dream. And he said, come up in here, meet Andy Albright, meet Robbie Kraft, meet the leaders of the Alliance, and come work with us. And so I came, I met Andy, I met Robbie, and I remember them pouring into me and talking about vision and future and what we're doing here at the Alliance. And I remember the whole time thinking, this is awesome, but what in the heck do they do? I still was like, I knew it was insurance and marketing. They were like, hey, it's insurance. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. But in my head, I was like, insurance, man, that sounds boring as everything. So I was like, I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm just going to give it a shot, see what it's like, see if we can make some money, see if we can have some fun. And if I don't like it, I'll do something else. Well, suffice to say, Jake, it's been 8 years. Andy and Jane Albright have absolutely changed my life. Like, you think about like the butterfly effect, where like one decision just like changes the course of your life. Like that decision to work at the Alliance and to join Andy Albright and Jane on their crusade against poverty was one of those decisions that totally just altered my life and my path for the better. And I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful to Andy to allow me to be on the call today, to pour into y'all, to share some secrets, to give you some strategies to grow your business. I love the title, Maximize with Mertes, man. We're going to maximize your business today. And so I'm just so grateful to Andy and Jane. I'm so grateful to the leaders of the Alliance, man. I've just got so many relationships. Like, I know you're new, you're just getting into this. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, like, we pay you to be here, but one of the cool side effects of like working at the Alliance is like, you're gonna meet some incredible people. You're gonna build some incredible relationships. You're gonna make not just like work colleagues, but you're gonna make friends out of this deal, and people you can call all over the country that have your back, that care about you. It's incredible. So the relationships here at the Alliance, I've traveled the world because of Andy, like just like all expense paid trips everywhere. I've traveled the country. I was just in Houston and Fort Myers, just lighting it up. So it's just, the opportunity is unbelievable. And of course, we're printing money. We're making money. And so to be able to do all those things is incredible. And of course, I'm extremely grateful to all of our agents across the country. Me, Kat, and Jake are crystal clear that our job does not exist without y'all. Straight up. We don't have a job without you guys out there building your businesses, slanging some insurance, making it happen. So thank you all for going out there, fighting the war on poverty. We're against poverty. I hope you are too. And so we appreciate you, and we know that we wouldn't exist without you. And our job is to serve you and to help you grow your daggum business. So when I first got started, Andy made a suggestion to me. And he said, hey, Bo, it would be a good idea to have an insurance license. And when Andy makes like one of those suggestions, it's kind of like hey, you should do this. And really, like, you should listen to the millionaire. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get my insurance license.
Facts.
Yeah. So I started selling a little bit of insurance on the side and just like trying to pick up some checks and do some different stuff. And I had a really good month. And he was like, hey, why don't you go run the lead team? That's how it happened. He was like, you've been selling leads, right? Because I didn't know anybody. It's not like I was selling my family and friends here.
Right.
I didn't know anybody. So I was selling leads. He was like, you selling leads? You should sell leads. And I was like, cool. So he's like, why don't you go run the lead team? I was like, what you want me to do? He's like, sell some daggone leads. And I was like, makes sense. So I did that for a long time. I ran our recruiting department, and I ran President's Club. Now I'm in charge of making sure all those things kill it. So if you're an agent listening out there, this is a team of people that you want to know, because they're a resource, a delegation source, an advisory source, a consultant source that you can lean on. And very early on, one of the lessons Andy gave me was, hey, you want to do the highest value activities and the highest value investments that you can do. And you want to max out the top ones first. And he gave me this talk, and I still remember it. And it just like changed my life in terms of how I imagine, how I look at business, and how I look at work. So when we're out there doing work or doing things, we've got the opportunity to invest in different buckets. And they're hourly rate buckets. That's a terrible bucket, but you get the picture. I'm going to show everybody. Don't judge me. So we get these buckets you can invest in. One's a $10 an hour bucket. One's a $500 hour bucket. And one's a $1,000 an hour bucket. Here's your buckets, America. All right. So you got your buckets. Now, Jake, if I was like, hey, you get to work in one of these hourly buckets, which one are you picking?
I'm picking the $1,000 bucket.
That's a good choice. All right. I knew you were smart. So Jake's picking the $1,000 an hour bucket. Me too. And really the goal in your business is like, how do I live in the $1,000 an hour bucket, right? Because we got choices. We got choices, and we got activities of things we can do throughout the day. And each one of them pays a different amount, right? So an example of the $10 bucket would be like doing stuff like calling carriers. Right? When you write a piece of business, you on the phone calling a carrier to like figure out what's going on with that piece of business, that's $10 an hour work. Okay. Now you setting up a website, $10 an hour work, probably important, but like you could realistically pay President's Club to set up a website for you. Sending client cards, same deal. Like you should send your clients cards after you make a sale, but like $10 an hour work. Calling the phone book instead of leads. $10 an hour work. Why? Because you could just invest in leads, which would put you in a different bucket. Does that make sense? So you've got like all these different like time buckets that you could put into, and your $10 an hour bucket is mainly like administrative stuff or stuff you can delegate. Now, why am I telling you this, America? Because you've got different strategies and different ways to delegate that time, so that way you live more in the $500 an hour bucket and the $1,000 an hour bucket. Now, your $500 an hour bucket, that is your sales bucket, because we get paid $500 an hour to make some sales. So if you're making sales, you're living in that bucket. But if you are on the phone with a carrier, like doing whatever, you are not making $500. You're making $10 an hour. So the $500 bucket, an hour bucket, you can delegate that time to leads. Like leads, we talked about this early on. Jake used to work at AIL, so he understands the value in leads better than most. I was like, oh, you know something, you believe in leads, right? He's like, I believe in good leads. I was like, all right, you're going to love us. I probably shouldn't have said that. That's all right. So you understand the power in quality leads, because they're going to save you a lot of time, right? You're not going to be out there BSing, beating the streets. You're going to be talking to people that want to be talking to you. Now, your $1,000 an hour bucket is your building and recruiting bucket. This is the bucket that Andy tries to live in all day, every day, right? Like it would cost Andy money to sell a policy, right? Because he would be, yes, he might, maybe if it's a couple $1 million a month policy, it might not cost him money, but really his bucket's probably like $10,000 or maybe $50,000 an hour when it comes to building. So literally our job is to keep Andy in that recruiting and building bucket. If Andy's living in that world and not worrying about other stuff, it's a good thing for our company. If Andy's in the $10 an hour bucket, we got a problem. And Andy's mad as hell too, because that's not his bucket, right? We need to keep him in the building a massive business bucket. And the same is true for you. So if you want to get rich, I know Andy was talking about it on Wednesday. Not everybody wants to get rich, but if you want to make some money, you want to build a business, you want to live in that $1,000 an hour bucket. So how do you live in that bucket? What are some resources you can live in that bucket? We talked about the $500 bucket. You can invest in leads, right? So rather than knocking on doors or calling a phone book, you can invest in leads. $1,000 an hour bucket, you can invest in resources to make you more efficient at recruiting, right? If your return is the $1,000 an hour, You can invest in ZipRecruiter. President's Club has ZipRecruiter. It's $75 an ad. An average ad right now is returning 75 to 100 responders a month. That's less than $1 per person who applied to a sales ad. We get kicked off ZipRecruiter if the ad doesn't say sales. So it has to be said, no bait and switch AIL stuff. Sorry. It has to say sales, and it has to say 1099. So you're talking to 100 people a month for $75 to grow your daggone business. Can I hit you with some numbers?
Yeah, and I also got hired on ZipRecruiter.
Yeah, that's true. You want a ZipRecruiter success story? We got one right here. If you want to hire a Jake Steinberg, daggum. I think I posted a sales ad. Do you remember what ad you replied to?
No, I don't remember, but I do remember that I got responded to in the same day, and I had an interview within a day.
Good job. Hey, that's a good job, Stephanie. Shout out.
Worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's a ZipRecruiter success story right here. So for real, our recruiting numbers since we've been doing ZipRecruiter up 31% month over month. So every single month we've been up 31%. Now we're seeing that translate into fast tracks too, right? We're up 39%. So like the numbers are clear. Now you're going to hear from one of our special guests here in a moment about like the value of continuing to invest, because it's easy in recruiting to like get weary and well doing and like, well, those people aren't millionaires yet, so I guess I'll stop investing in recruiting. It's a month over month. You're going to grow your business by continuing to invest. But by investing in those things like President's Club, ZipRecruiter, maybe booked interviews, you're living in that $1,000 an hour bucket, as opposed to the not $1,000 an hour bucket, your $10 an hour bucket, or you're just no dollar an hour bucket because you're not trying to build a business. Now, again, we understand not everybody's trying to get rich, and that's okay. But we're looking for the ones. We're looking for the people that are like, all right, I think I'm going to make a run. I think I'm going to try and do this thing and try and build this business. So you've got resources in the lead team where you can live in that $500 an hour bucket. You can call them up. They're like an advisory resource. Okay. So you can call the lead team, you can call Kat, and it's smart to like have an idea of what you're trying to do, your goals, and then maybe like a game plan with your manager, because it makes Kat's job a lot easier, because then she's not like, what do you want to do? And you're like, oh, I don't know. She's like, okay, like talk to your manager and just say, hey, like, here's my goals. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's what I want to achieve. And Kat's going to make you a game plan, a lead game plan. She'll tie the leads to that. And how crazy and aggressive you can be is how crazy and aggressive your results are going to be. Okay. And she's crazy and aggressive. She's going to try and get you to do more.
Absolutely.
She's going to be like, I was going to say something crazy, but I just like filter myself. There it is. I have a filter. She's gonna sell you. Okay. For real. And challenge you. Now her job is to help you grow. So she's not going to do anything that's going to make you not make money. But to be clear, the more leads you invest in, the more money you make. And we're crazy excited about Jake. He's going to be doing some big things with us. His calendar is wide open. Hit him with the calendar links. They can book with you. It's lpt.simplybook.me. I'm going to get you a tattoo of that.
Yeah, I need that right on my form. Right?
Yeah, or we get like a QR code, and then like rather than people like, what's the booking link again? You'd be like, just scan my hand, please.
QR code's the way to go.
So for real, you can get on both their calendars. They fill up quick. So lpt.simplybook.me, you get on their calendar. They will be your lead advisory team. They'll help you understand where to book, where the leads are at. They're like, Andy describes it like they're like the monkey in the tree, like pointing, like we got leads down here. So that's what they do, is they help you find the pockets, and they're going to encourage you to go to the pockets. Same as if you got a GMR, which is, tell them what a GMR is.
A GMR is a geographical marketing request. The awesome thing is we mail a market out to the specific area or areas that you'd want, and bring back mailers in, people handwriting their information out for you to come and help them. And it's a reoccurring every week. So you don't have to, it's not in the back of your head. Like, it just comes, get your lead, you're fired up, go help them out.
You daggum right. So that's like an order. You say, hey, I want this many, and Kat's going to do her best to deliver this many a month. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's not delivering, she's going to say, hey, you might need to wrap up this whole territory and get all these leads, or you might need to get these counties. Or she's going to say, hey, why don't you take a run? Why don't you go down to the beach? Why don't you go down to the mountains and run some business up there? So that's their job, is to help set up these programs to fill up your lead program. So that way you're making money, you're hitting your goals, you're hitting what you want to do. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my President's Club. We got a badass team there too, with Stephanie Lee, Lucero, and myself helping out. We've been rolling out a bunch of crazy stuff. Lucero has been absolutely killing it. She's been on the road helping a bunch of families. She's been selling insurance like crazy too. And I'm sure if you ever need assistance with Spanish, you can call her. I'm still doing my Duolingo. I'm learning. I'm going to catch her one day. It's probably going to be about 10 years from now. But you can call her if you're needing a Spanish assistant, if you need sales help. And next Monday, if you need some additional training when it comes to in-home, phone script, or recruiting, we're doing 3 calls. And these 3 calls are for anybody. You don't have to be in President's Club to be on these calls. And these 3 calls, I'm going to post on the Facebook, but I'm going to give you the link right now too, are Monday at 9 a.m., Wednesday at 9 a.m. and Friday at 9 a.m., all the same Zoom link, okay? So you can jump on that call and we're going to help train you up. And we do those bi-weekly. So managers out there, you can refer this to your people and say, hey, jump up on here, listen to this. They're going to talk junk to you. That's a delegation power that keeps you out of the $10 an hour box, okay? And we'll help train your people in a group setting, role play, talking junk to them, helping them get better at in-home, phone script, and how to start building a business. So that link is also a Book Me link. It's alliancepc.simplybook.me. I'll post it in the Facebook, alliancepc.simplybook.me, and that's how you get on those calls. You just register, we'll send you a Zoom link immediately, but bi-weekly, every week, and if demand grows, we'll do them every single week. We ain't scared. So President's Club is blowing up like crazy. That's a subscription service you ought to pay into too, because it's an investment. If you want to get on ZipRecruiter, you get on President's Club. If you want booked interviews, you get on President's Club. You want a website, you get on President's Club. You want WebPres to send client videos, you get on President's Club. And again, it's an investment. I understand it's $99, but you're getting a ton of value and a ton of access. And I'm giving you the shout out now, President's Club members. You be ready come next week, because I got an exciting new benefit that's going to help with networking, with help with virtual backgrounds, business cards. Really excited about it. It's huge value to all of our President's Club members. So that's coming live next week. We're just hammering out the details on that deal. So those are 2 departments that you got to know, because they're going to help make you more efficient. They're going to help you make more money, and they're going to keep you out of that $10 an hour box. They're going to keep you in that $500 and $1,000 an hour box, which is where you are printing money. So if you're living in those 2 buckets, life is good. But if you're stuck in that $10 an hour bucket, get the PC advantage, get the LPT advantage, get out of that daggone $10 an hour bucket. You're worth more, baby. You're worth more. I was about to channel my inner Prime. I've been consuming all sorts of Coach Prime content. All right, so know these people, book a time, get on the Alliance PC, send your downline the Alliance PC deal, and if we can ever do anything for you, please holler. Kat, any final words?
All I can say is invest in leads. That is a great way to expand your business.
You daggum right. Jake, any last words?
Thank you so much for having me. Had a great time, and I'm looking forward to helping a bunch of you all out, okay?
You daggum right. It was a great time, not a long time. All right, that's LPT. Jake Steinberg, Kat Lewis, you got to know them. All right, thank you guys so much for being on here today.
Thank you.
All right, coming on now. 2 of my good buddies in the Alliance. 2 of my good buddies. We go way back. We've been in it a minute and just gotten started together. So first, senior board member 2? Senior board member 2?
Yep.
Daggum, Bo. Senior board member 2, the Brandon Manley. Welcome, Brandon.
What's up, man?
And
Good to see face.
I call him the golden cannoli. That's accurate? Yeah, I like the golden cannoli, baby. The Vincenzo Napoli. Welcome, Vincenzo Napoli. Come on up in here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Clay.
Welcome, guys. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm fired up, man.
Man, I'm excited about this PC release.
Yeah, I know that's right. Did I give you a sneak peek or anything?
No, you haven't.
All right.
Maybe after
Remind
this.
me. Yeah, remind me after. You're excited. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it too. It's gonna make you more
I'm
money.
excited. I didn't even know.
Yeah. No, nobody knows. This was like the sneak peek right here. Yeah, this is a sneak peek. Dude, Fort Myers, we killed it, man. We had a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, Brandon has a big team out there. Rob Bowler Dick, some of those guys, and just good show out. That's where we were yesterday. An agency manager review. It was awesome. All right, Vinny, we're going to start with you right now. We're going to talk about leads. We're going to talk about blowing this up. But anybody that doesn't know Vincenzo Napoli, will you give them like a high level? Tell them who the Golden Cannoli is, how you got started, your kind of pathway through the Alliance.
Absolutely. Long story short, honestly, I was in the restaurant business. And I was doing pretty much 100 hours a week. Also, my father's business, an extra couple hours a week. And then, honestly, I found the Alliance, I came to a hot spot where everybody comes together and they hear one of our top producers talk about the opportunity. And after that, I got my insurance license and I did this 1 day a week. And I mean, I can't believe the first month I pretty much worked 1 day a week on Tuesdays and made $4,000 my first month. And after that, I pretty much left the restaurant business, and it's history from there. So who the Golden Cannoli is? My name is Vincenzo Napoli. You can just call me Vinny. If you don't have a cousin, now you have a cousin named Vinny.
You damn right.
I am in North Carolina.
Come on.
And I love the Alliance. Clay, what do you want me to tell you? What do you want to know?
Well, you talked about, like, I know that's one of your spiels about the 1 day a week you were working, because you're working for your dad, you're doing other stuff. How much money did you make your first year?
Man, I gotta say, at least, I think it was about, because I had pretty much started the end of the year. I think it was like, I mean, 60,000, 70,000.
So that's part-time, 1 day a week, 60,000.
Yes. Then my second year was literally 110,000, or maybe 116,000. And then
Still part-time.
yeah, I'll say part-time.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I say I'm full-time, but I still think I'm part-time, because I don't know. I love the life I have, and I like to help people out and spend more time doing that. So I think now, last year was 160,000, maybe more than that. I don't remember. I don't really keep track. I just love the life I live and all the money I get to spend and all the time.
What do you think you're going to do this year? What are you tracking? Are you going to beat 160?
I hope.
What do you mean you hope?
Of course I'm going to beat one.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm hitting at least 200,000.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, talk to me kind of like, because I remember when you first started, and I was like, this guy's crazy. I like him. And I know you were hired through Brandon's buddy, Andy.
Tone. That's your cousin.
So that was your cousin, Andy. He was like, you should do this thing. Talk to me about like what it was like first investing in leads, like how you first started going.
I was scared. I literally never thought I would invest in leads, because I was like, I need leads, but I'm scared to spend money, because you know what if I don't make the money back? Like, we're not getting paid a salary. But what I was told is, if you show up and you work, you'll make the money. So when I got first started, obviously I worked some dirty old leads, because that's all I wanted, free leads. So they gave me some dirty free leads, and I worked them, and I made really good appointments off of them and made some sales. And I was like, this is great. They're like, yeah, but you're working like a dog trying to get these appointments, see these people. How about you make it a little easier and get some quality appointments, and you don't have to make 1,000 million phone calls, and you can actually see people that actually just sent a piece of postcard in. I was like, all right, well, what does that cost? And they're like, well, let's break down the numbers. So I'll never forget, my first lead investment was $100 a week. And that only lasted 2 weeks, because after $100, I made a lot of sales, and I took about half my profit and put it back into leads. And then Brandon told me, hey, you need to put a little bit more so you can get more leads. So I was like, well, because if you don't increase and level up, you're just not going to get more of your profit. You're not going to make more sales. You're going to stay the same. Keep doing the same thing. You're going to keep getting the same results. So I ended up just putting a little bit more into it. And then I started doing, I say on average, between $500 to $1,000 a week is a great investment in leads. If you can't do that, at least do at least 200 a week.
I want to back up with you. So you said some important things there. So you said some, quote, dirty old leads. So these were just some recycle leads. Did you remember, did Brandon just hand them to you, or they are some RWs? Do you remember where they came from, or no memory?
They came from Oasis. They came from the
they were some RWs or something.
That we have. You guys
some
just
2-year-olds.
Old. I mean, you're talking about year old, months old. I mean, they were all mixed, right? I just got a mix. I seen, okay, here's the county I want to run. Here's a bunch of leads. Gave me a stack of leads, and I was literally in my kitchen calling these numbers from 5 to 9, and even sometimes after 9, got yelled at, got screamed at. It's okay, because my job was just to get in front of them and figure out when they were home. So out of all those people I called, I mean, about 80 leads in front of me that I'm just calling. And, I didn't know nothing. So I just kept calling them, and, they
and that's important, right? I don't think we told you. I doubt Brandon was like, hey, man, these are some dirty old leads. He was probably like, dude, these are some hot leads, brother. You're going to kill it. That's what I bet.
That is true. He said, look, these people, they need some insurance. You need to call them up and stuff. And they're like, don't worry, they want to see you. They waiting for you to call them.
So I feel like that's key, is like that your mindset going in was like, hey dude, I'm gonna kill it. And like that's something I learned too, is that like if you expect a lead to be old and dirty, I don't know what that means, but like if you expect failure, you're gonna get failure, right? But if you go into it young and crazy and don't know anything, it's like you expect success in the book appointments, because Brandon told you you're gonna book some daggum appointments.
That's true, because I mean, look, we're in sales. People are gonna tell you no. So if you're calling these leads and no one told you they're old and you're just calling them and they're yelling at you, well, that's part of sales. You're going to be told no. So I was like, just call. No one told me how old these leads were. They just said, here's some people, call them up, set some appointments, and go see these people. And that's it. When I came in this business, I asked everybody what to do. They told me what to do. I had no excuses besides obviously investing in leads in the beginning. But
tell me about that. So like,
yeah.
Well, actually, I want to hear both sides of it. But did Brandon have to like sell you on it, or were you like, "Yep, I'm just gonna do it, no problem"?
In investing?
Yeah.
No, I mean, let's put it this way. I honestly I wanted, like I said, hey, this is crazy. I am killing myself trying to get in front of these people. There's got to be an easier way. And it's like, well, you can invest in some newer leads. And I was like, oh, okay.
Were you scared?
Yeah. I was horribly scared. I didn't even know if I was going to do it. And they're like, well, you can keep doing what you're doing and going crazy. You can get some newer people and invest. And I was like, all right. So I think we matched. I think I put some in and then he put some in and I got more for the bang for my buck. And that was like, okay, so I put this, you put this, I got double that, and I'm going to go crazy. I'll never forget. I think I got 21 A0 leads. Oh my goodness. I literally ended that month with about $25,000. Yeah, it was a great.
Did you have to sell him? Do you remember like having to like get his mind right about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think when me and you were working with Vinny to start, I don't think anything was easy to convince Vinny of doing. Vinny's very strong-headed, and so I do think he had a lot of belief in it after he had made some money. So I think it was less hard to convince him to buy leads. It was just getting him over that fear, which we talked about this kind of like that broke mindset, and getting him out of that, because I'm like, hey man, if you can do this with these leads, imagine what you can do with some newer leads. And then the next thing is like, dude, we got to get you on a GMR ASAP. Because if I get leads coming in, it's kind of a twofold. Vinny never has a problem with leads, but I also trick him into working. Because what's he scared of? Not making money back. Right. He's scared he was scared at the time. He's going to spend his money on leads and not make money back. Well, working's not an option if that's your fear.
Yeah.
And then obviously it didn't happen that way. Vinny was able to go out there and crush it. And he's been, 60,000 in his first year. And that's off working 1 day a week. And I would imagine now, even still working 2 days a week, right? When he says full time, you are working.
Maybe 3.
Okay, but let's say now he's recruiting and he's working recruiting leads and stuff like that. But still 2 days a week. But he works harder in those 2 days and spends more money on leads than a lot of people in the alliance. I would guarantee it. He works his can off those 2 days.
Yeah, I would be scared if my name ended up in Vinny's lead inbox.
Yeah,
because I know that he's going to show up at my house and he's going to get a deal. You're going to get him. All right, so that's good stuff. You said something else that I liked. So it sounds like you went out, you got that 50-50 split with Brandon. He bought some, you bought some, and then it sounds like you doubled down. Like you made some money, and rather than like investing the same amount, it sounds like you expanded that investment. So talk to me about like how your investment grew over time as your money grew.
I was making sales, and if you make sales, you make money. And if you're making a lot of money, either you got to put it somewhere. You got to put it, in like a product that's going to grow your money, or you got to put it back in your business. And I figured, well, if I don't put it back in my business, it's going to stay the same. So I put it back in my business. I upped my GMR. I got more A0s. I got more multi-A's because, newer leads are great, but these people that are still sitting there and in the system for a long time and no one's going to see them, they're still there. So I like to get a mix of everything. And now I got like 50, 60 leads coming in a week, and I am overloaded. Like, we need more people to help us out with these leads. We don't have enough people. We have more leads and not enough people. It's crazy. Like, you think that there's not enough people in the county and the state. You'd be surprised how many people since our time in 2019 has went up for insurance. I mean, you can just do the math. People are afraid to die at every age. Everyone's dying now. So
it's 10,000 a day, baby.
Whew, More, I think more
Turning
than 10,000.
65,
I think
yeah,
it's
and
back to
I-
numbers.
I don't know. It might be growing. Yeah, I agree with you. I was like always like, man, I wonder if we're ever going to run out of leads.
Yeah.
And then Andy was like, bro, like we're like the baby boomers. And he gave me the whole like 10,000 people a day. And I was like, I think we're sitting on a gold mine.
And then COVID happened.
Oh,
Everybody
that-
got scared.
That helped. I mean, that helped like with people's mindset and with like just urgency.
Yeah,
Right? Like
urgency,
people were not, messing around after that. Vinny, talk to me about like your strategy with a GMR. Kat talked about it a little bit. So anybody that missed that part, GMR is like an automated order that you can set up, you can get every single week and the leads just flow in. Talk to me about your strategy with like planting a flag and like owning a county.
Well, you want to also be the guy in that county that helps everybody out. So you want to pick a county that you know is great for you. Like, so a couple counties around my area is not really for me. Some counties, they're more southern. Some counties, they're more, different ethnicity. Me, I like my New Yorkers. I'm from up north. So where I run my county is Wake County. And everyone's moving from up north to Wake County. So when I go there, they can relate to me. They can see who I am. I know I'm that on-head, aggressive, get the thing done. And that's what we need. Because if you have somebody who comes in my county and they're like pushed back and, reserved, they're going to get eaten up alive. And I don't want that happening. So pick a county that's best for you and put the flag there, meaning like, this is my stomping grounds. This is where I'm going to go help people out. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it consistently. So how am I doing consistently? I'm going to set up a GMR in that county and get these leads flowing in every week. So if I'm not working, the leads are still coming in. So I have no excuse not to work. Because if you don't have leads, you're not going to work. If you don't invest, you're not going to make money. Or you make money, but you're not going to make enough. So you just, it all comes together. You got to put your money, you got to invest, you got to have them coming consistently. So GMR will come in every single week, even if you don't purchase any leads, because they're coming in. Like, you don't have to go and check and see which one's
No
available.
thinking. It just
No
shows up.
thinking. It show up. Like
I
every
don't like
morning
thinking.
I wake up with like another 10, 15, 20 more people. And I'm like, end of the week, I have like 50, 60 people, and 60 people a week. You can't get to everybody. So you're just overworked, overloaded. But it's amazing because it never ends. Like, it's like Uber. You turn the Uber app on and people's like, oh, come pick me up. You turn the GMR on, it's like, oh, come see me. Come visit me. I'm ready.
You damn
Like,
right.
I'm here. I ain't doing nothing. Waiting for you. And sometimes when you get there, they say, I've been waiting for you. How you been? Oh my God.
My cousin Vinny.
Yeah, no one came. I sent this in and no one came see me. You're finally here. Like, I sent 10 of these in. I'm like, I don't know who's working, this county, but now I'm in charge. I'm the guy here. I'll be your guy.
Hey, I don't know if you knew this, but like if you plant your flag in the ground, like this is an LPT rule. So everybody listening, if you claim a county with an A lead GMR and you're the first one in there, you get preferential treatment. You're going to get the leads first because you set up your flag. And then the next person to come in, you can still get leads. It's not like we're going to say you can't get leads in Wake County, but we're going to fill the first guys first. So Vinny's first, he's getting leads first. And then once we fill up him or once we get most of his, you might start getting some. So there's advantage. Andy calls it a land grab. So you want to get a land grab, get as many flags in as many counties as you can, because now you're going to get the lead flow. So if you're out there wondering if I should set up a GMR in a county, the answer is yes, because now you're the person and it triggers a mailing from our standpoint. Like, we're going to start mailing for you. So if you're in a weird county that we don't mail to right now, when I say weird, I mean like just we ain't got nobody else there. Plant your flag now, get a GMR, because we're going to market for you and you're the person. You got, was it first rights of refusal? You get those daggone leads first. All right.
Yeah, if it's a desert county, that's a gold mine because nobody's running it. Nobody's out there selling insurance. I mean, you're the guy. You're their guy. So everything that comes in, it's like, it's guaranteed almost. Like,
almost guaranteed, man.
I don't know.
Hey, what's something, this is a weird question.
Yeah.
What's something you would tell, you've been doing this 4 years?
4.5, almost 5.5 will be next year.
All right. What's something you would tell Vinny from 4.5 years ago, just getting started? Like if you could go in a time machine and be like, hey, Vinny from 4 years ago, do this, relating to leads or investing or anything in that world, what would you tell past Vinny? Well,
First thing is get leads. I mean, that wasn't my problem, but investing in leads for sure. Don't think about it. It's something you need. Without clients, your business doesn't run. You can do social media, right? But everyone on social media, you got to tack them down and they're probably working and get leads. People are ready for you. They're here. So what I would tell myself is invest in leads, work, set yourself up a schedule, stick to it consistently. And then at the end of the day, you need to recruit. You want to bring more people on so we can help out and get these leads, get more leads. The more people, the more leads. But we have too many leads, not enough people. So I'll tell anybody, start bringing other people on so we can get these people healthy. There's too many clients out there I go and see and they're like, we've been waiting for you. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, I'm ready, thank you. And I don't want to hear I haven't been seen. So I want more people to do it. So I would recommend recruiting, investing in your business. Don't be scared. Don't have a broke mindset like I started with, because all it did was it slowed down me and my profit. So now I can't complain. I like it. You mentioned kind of building a business, and I know that's kind of for Vinny. You've got the $20K a month figured out. Like that's kind of down pat. And I know you just recently got on ZipRecruiter. That's going good. I love it. I actually had a guy at our last boot camp here in the Alliance right up ZipRecruiter that same day.
Is that sharp guy that was here?
He was pretty sharp.
Yeah.
He came out of Wendy's. I literally told him to leave Wendy's. He told his boss he's leaving. He took a car and got here, and he was here. But it was the first day. I made a phone call, talked to him. He left his job chase schedule anyway. He got here. That's the matter of fact. And he made it here, and he got in class, and he's now going for a license all in one day. I mean, ZipRecruiter is amazing. These people are waiting for you to put an ad out, and they're waiting to get a job because everybody these days are tired of working 9 to 5, listening to a boss. They're tired of working these hours. Like I was overworked 100 hours a week in the restaurant business. Restaurants are great, but look, you're going to be worked like a dog. You are going to be overworked and underpaid, and you're not going to be able to take your sick days. You're not going to take vacations like you want. So at the end of the day, I mean, if you want to be your own boss, this is where it's at, and that's building a business. It's great to be a producer, but you can only do it for so many years. What if you get hurt? What if you get sick? What if your family needs you, right? It's good to build a business because when you get hurt, want to go on vacation, you got other people doing what you need to do by getting the income come in. And that's where it's at. You got to build a business. ZipRecruiter is the first way to jump on. PC also has some PC recruits. You can pay, a couple of dollars for appointments that they already set for you. I mean, that's a gold mine. And then look, everybody you see and you meet, just tell them about it. Tell them what opportunity we have here at the Alliance. It's so big. And if they're like, well, you're just one person, I don't believe you, well, then bring them somewhere where we have a bunch of people, like hotspots, boot camps, conventions. I mean, they're out there. We've got the resources, we've got the connections. You just got to plug the people in, and it's magic. That's what it is. It's magic.
It's magic, baby. It's a system, Bo.
Magic.
It's a system. Well, thanks, Vinny. Dude, I appreciate it. You've grown so much, dude. It's been awesome. Like, I feel like it's a privilege that I was here when you were just getting started, getting to watch you freaking blow up. And I'm excited for the next phase. Like, I feel like you've figured out the sales world, but and I know you've got a massive leg and a massive business going, but I'm excited for partner Vinny. I'm excited for massive passive cash flow Vinny. You're gonna be even more wide open.
It's coming.
When Vinny's making $100,000 a month passively, it's gonna be wild.
It's coming. It's in progress,
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Everything takes time, guys. Everything takes time. You're not gonna be rich overnight, but just keep at it. One day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, God bless. Thank you. Thank you, whoever told me about this, even if you're not here anymore. Thank you. And then you're going to thank Andy. You're going to thank Jane. You're going to thank me. You're going to thank Clay. You're going to thank the whole alliance. You're going to thank everybody. You're going to be thanking people you don't even know. Thank you so much. Who was that guy?
The golden cannoli, baby.
It's me.
Thank you, Vinny. Any last thoughts about lead investment or anything we should expect? This is like how at a UFC fight, they do a call out. I don't want you to call anybody out, but I want you to like, what's next for Vinny? How they're like, I'm going to take the belt. I'm going to do this. What's next for Vinny?
Well, what's next for me is just bringing more people on my team to do what I can do. And if I can leave you with something, if you don't have a GMR right now, you better call the leads team today and set something up. I don't care if it's $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. Just start something. And then once the money and the leads start coming in, you start making more money. Just thank me at the next convention because I'll be there waiting for you.
He accepts bribes. Thank you, Vincenzo Napoli, the golden cannoli man. Proud of you, brother. All right, we're going to switch gears a little bit, but we're going to stay kind of in the same vein of investing in your business, growing your business. But now we're going to kind of shift towards the recruiting world. Vinny is a bad to the bone sales guy, and Brandon Manley is a bad to the bone builder. One of the fastest, if not the fastest, to 500,000 that I've ever seen in total volume, and he's absolutely killing it. And Brandon, give them a kind of a high level of you. You're starting the business, how you got things rolling, who you are.
Yeah. Graduated NC State University, got a recruiting job out of that, out of college, recruiting IT people. Worked there for 5 years. It worked out really well for me. And I was always kind of chasing. I guess what happened is I finally saw the glass ceiling that everybody talked about, because I was, we're 5 years just growing. And so I remember talking to Andy Albright and at Christmas, he showed me the opportunity for maybe the 20th time. And I just, at that point in my life, I was just like, I want to do something for myself. I want to build something for myself. And I saw that opportunity here. And so I jumped on board in 2019. Vinny's actually the first person that I recruited. I guess Andy Catone technically is. But you were shortly after that. But he's still with me. And, me and him, like, we worked a lot with Clay. And like, we were trying to figure things out. And we did, right? Like, I remember, I always tell the story of I would call him, he would call me, and we'd ask questions, and neither of us would know. Like, we just say, I don't know. But it's kind of, I think the thing that me and Vinny had was that ability, that drive to figure it out. Like, we weren't going to let things stop us. We weren't looking to point the finger at somebody and blame them for the reason that we weren't having massive success a month in. But we kept going after it. And then, yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of crazy to look back, because that was only, 4 years ago at this point, and to see kind of where we're at today and the growth. And, me and Vinny owe a lot of thanks to you, because you were there for us to help us out. Like, we had no idea what we were doing. And I think you were a couple years into the business at that point.
Yeah. So
you had somewhat of an idea what you were doing.
Yeah, kind of.
And so you were like, hey, this is what you should do. And so we did that. And yeah, I mean, right now it's going incredible. I mean, we can't, the thing is like, I'm always rebuilding. Like, me and Vinny talked about this the other day. I'm always rebuilding my team. Not from a standpoint of like Vinny, Jeff, love those guys. Like, I love my team, but it's just a constant rebuild. And that's what, I'm telling guys like Vinny is like, you just got to constantly act like you're rebuilding your business. And that's how you get continuous growth. And from what I've seen, it's just that constant, like when Andy says, I need one more. What's he looking for? He's not literally saying just one more person, but he's always in that rebuild mindset. And so that's where we're at today.
I love it. And I know what you're talking about. Like, I've never watched Andy stop building. Like, he's never been like, all right, cool, we're good, we can just rely on this and just work that. No, he's constantly trying to add with, he's constantly talking to people, constantly looking for that next one. And we talked about it the other day. Like, I think a lot of people think like, just get one more person. It's not necessarily that. It's a mindset and it's a drive that Andy's got to continue to add just another and just another. Yeah. And that incremental effort is how you blow it up.
It's like what, Marcus said it on a call last week, I believe. He said his dad always told him, you're one connection away from, oh man, I'm going to butcher it, Marcus. But essentially you're one connection away from making it, is kind of what I heard him saying. He said it in a much better way, but something like that. And that's kind of like what I thought of when he said that. I was like, that's Andy's one more.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like changing your destiny. I think that's what it was. You're always one connection away from changing your destiny.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think about when I think of Andy saying, one more, Bo, one more,
Because you don't know who it's going to be.
You don't. No.
It could be a Vincenzo. It could be not a Vincenzo.
Yeah.
We need more Vincenzos, man.
We need a lot more Vincenzos.
You know any other Italians we can hire?
I do. But they're in the restaurant working like a
Well, maybe if we can just get them one day a week.
Yeah. One day a week. We'll start with that.
Hey, we talk about kind of like big picture, some investments you do to like fuel your recruiting business.
Sure. Staff. Staff's an incredible investment. The buckets you were just talking about when you were with the LPT team, that's exactly how I view staff. You get a staff to do the things that are not as valuable to you, or in other words, like things you don't want to do. Like calling, the carriers and checking on your business, or calling through 100 resumes to find the 10 good ones. So I think staff, and then you've got to. It's just like the leads with the sales side. You got to have people to talk to, right? So you always want to start with your warm market, right? Your network, your friends, your family, which we've got in the business, right? And then people that, like Vinny's spot on. How many people do you walk past a day that you're not talking to? And then the third, the best way to get them immediately is ads. And so what I use is ZipRecruiter and I use PC recruiting ads. And I love both of them. I mean, so like the ZipRecruiter, I've got it maxed out 30 ads a week. And I try to well, I don't know if you want me to get into the strategy yet, but like I try to target areas where we have stuff happen often, or I know somebody's in that area where I can send them. And then on the ZipRecruiter or PC recruiting, I think we get, I want to say it's probably like 12 to 15 a day that we have our schedule open for, and that's 3 days a week. So let's just roughly say 40 to 50 PC interviews.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
So you would say probably like 2,500, maybe $3,000 a month in just like ad and recruiting spend.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then of course you got the staff costs.
Mhm.
So spending a lot of money there. How are you measuring success from your recruiters and like your investment? Like you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I spent this much money. What's successful to Brandon?
Yeah. So we track things, the fast tracks, the carrier contracted, how many people got in the class. We track all that. But for me, true measure of success is not how many people I fast track. It's not. Like, who cares how many people you fast track? How many of those fast tracks, how many of those people contracted did you get writing business? So for me, my major indicator is unique writers.
Mm-hmm.
So like I focus more heavily on that than I do, hey, we brought in 30 people this week. Cool. How many of those 30 did you get writing? Like that's the question that you should be asking yourself. I hope it's, let's say 25 of those 30, you at least got to write a policy on themselves. Step 1 of the 8 steps, personal use. But yeah, our goal is definitely focused around how many unique writers and how much are we growing from a percentage standpoint quarter to quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major indicator to me because you might not see it right away, but your unique writers, if your unique writers is going up, you may not see an immediate massive jump in your annualized premium per month, but you give it a month, 2 months, once those unique writers start clicking, you see a jump. And so that's the best correlation I've seen with a growing business is your unique writers.
Yeah. I assume you look at unique recruiting agents as well.
Yeah.
Will you talk about, and I guess Vinny's a good example of this recently, like talk about how you sell your guys on investing and trying to grow their business.
Yeah. So, I mean, it depends, it depends on the person, but like, so with Vinny, I can tell you, Vinny works his tail off those 2 days a week. And I know he wants residual income,
mm-hmm.
right? So with Vinny, it's a little bit easier of a sell, I'd say. I'll go on the other side, too. But with Vinny, it's really sitting down with him. And we did this like a couple weeks ago, sitting down with him. And because right now he thinks he doesn't have time to recruit and blah, blah, blah. And what we do is we pick apart his schedule and we identify times where he's gonna recruit, right? What is he gonna invest in? Not like what could he do? What are you going to do? And so we identified those things because I know what Vinny's looking for. He's looking for that passive income.
Yeah.
So if I can get him to that, if I can help him see how to get to that, I can get him moving. So with him, it's just kind of breaking it down and showing him like how this is going to work for him, how he's going to fit this into his schedule and get him moving on that. Because it's not a matter of does he want to recruit? Yeah, he wants to recruit, but what is he doing right now to do that? Like you want to build, I hear this all the time. Like I want to build a big business, Brennan. Well, what are you doing to build a big business? That's the question. And if the answer is nothing, then we got to figure out that part. Now, if I've got somebody who's maybe, different, they don't see maybe the value in building a business. And sometimes it's like top producers, right? Like a top producer may not like look at it. Oh, that's going to take time away from my personal production. And that's a very short-term focused mindset. But I think they're really good at selling policies, but they're not good at selling people on why to build their business. And so like I do the 4 quadrants a lot, right?
The ESBI.
Yeah. And I try to do this immediately with somebody because I want to go ahead and get into their mindset of building. Because to me, it's the most bizarre thing that you would want to be in a business like this and not build a residual income. I tell people,
a good sales job, right?
I will support you all day. I just can't relate to that. I cannot relate to it because I just see so much value in it and what you can do for your family. So I'll break down the 4 quadrants to them. And then I'll just simply put it like, hey, what happens if something happens to you. Like you're not able, if you have to go, let's say your parents get sick and you got to go away for a month and you're not having any personal production. You got to be your mother's caretaker, your father's caretaker, and you're not making any money, right? Like I'm trying to sell them on the idea of like the safety of it, but also the financial freedom of it. Does that make sense? So like everybody has a different way of thinking about financial freedom, in my opinion. My financial freedom is being able to, if I wanted to, step away from my business for, let's say, a month and it still operate as if I was still there. That's fine. And I'm still making the same type of money. That's financial freedom to me. And so I want to help others create that. So I start selling them immediately on the concepts, right? Like what you just said is exactly what I say. It's an incredible sales job, but you also have at the same time, you can build a business out of this. So and then I try to toot their horn. So like Vinny, so for example, if Vinny's recruiting, right, I'm like, so I did this with Jeff the other day, actually. I said, because he was a second baseman, he played collegiate baseball. Who did I use as an example? Joe Morgan, I think that was a second baseman. So I said, hey, let's say you want to go to the major leagues, right? That was your deal in college. So if Joe Morgan came to you and he said, hey, I'm going to train you every single day, but here's what I need out of you. And are you going to do those things? And Jeff's like, yeah. I'm like, that's the mentality you got to take into recruiting. Like you're the Joe Morgan in this situation. Like Vinny, you're the Joe Morgan. Like you can teach people to do what you're doing. So why would you not? And so just kind of taking, different mindsets into it is kind of, and it depends on the person. So again, I think it would be wrong of me to tell you how I approach Vinny, how I approach this person, how I approach this person, because it's going to be different each time. But that's kind of a general idea.
Well, what I'm hearing and to kind of break down or synthesize what you said is you're figuring out their why, like the thing that's going to click, and you're poking that button and getting them focused on that. And Andy talked about it Wednesday with his coin, his success coin. It's figuring out, what do you want? And for him, it was freedom, right? It was like, if I am going to get freedom. And then he said money was a close second. And so those were the things he was chasing. The how doesn't matter as much, right? If you've got the why and you've got the big picture and you can get somebody's mind right about passive income or whatever their thing is, the pieces figure themselves out.
Yeah. I think if you're having a tough time getting somebody in the mindset of building a business, you're not approaching it the right way. I don't know what you're doing. I can't diagnose that until I see it, or you're just saying, hey, you should build a business, and not trying to create any I guess any like strong backing of why you should. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you. Can you talk a little bit about how you use events and investing in events to grow your business? Because we are officially 10 days away from breakthrough. Yeah. It's the final countdown. If you want to get a ticket, do we still have tickets? You still get a ticket?
I think you can still get a ticket.
You can still get a ticket. I know we were sold out briefly and might have opened up some, but like you still have an opportunity to change your life. And as a manager, you've got the opportunity again to get just get one more. So how do you sell events? Like how do you, and from an investment context, how do you utilize that in your business?
Yeah. It's one of those things that I know it's gonna make the person better to come to an event. Not because they are going to hear something at that event, right? So I use a lot of stories. So I'm, stories sell, right? So when I'm talking to people who are maybe on the fence about coming, I share stories. And I've shared this before, and I've talked with the person, so it's okay that I say this. But I have a lady in my organization, and last year, all year, she might have averaged $2,000 to $5,000 a month, right? Mm-hmm. And then she came to breakthrough in October of last year, right? Yeah, October, and she had a breakthrough, and after that, she started doing $10,000 a month, like right after that. So I think it ended early October. She started doing $10,000 a month. Like she was just a different person from a mindset perspective, and then she comes to NatCon, right? And she starts doing $20,000 a month, right? And then her fiance joins her in the business because he sees her having success. Yeah. And he joins her in the business, and now they just hit. Shout out to them, Brittany and Daniel Ladd. They just hit Ireland. Ireland. They just hit Alaska, so I know they are super fired up about that. But like that's kind of the stories that I'll use to sell people on it. Because I think when they hear stories about other people, or if I called up Brittany and I had her share her story with it, it's not me that did it. I didn't make Brittany a 20K producer. It was her mindset changed, and that's what made her a 20K producer. And so I use stories a lot, and I'll get other people to talk about their experience at the events. So like Vinny, if I was sitting here with you and I was trying to convince you to go to Breakthrough, I would have Vinny tell you about his experience at our events so far. Have they helped you, Vinny?
Oh God, yes.
Right? Like I'm gonna get validation out of him, right? And so I'm gonna say, what do you think about Breakthrough? Is this something that Clay should attend?
Yes.
Why? This is real life. This is what I'll do.
Yeah, tell me why, Vinny.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be around the people that are actually doing it and actually making the money, but also you're going to get around people that you don't get to talk to on a daily basis, and you can actually pull aside and ask them what they're doing, right? You can get numbers, you can get contacts. Now you can keep in touch with them after you leave the convention. So now you can relate to them. You can call them when you have a problem. Maybe you can relate better to somebody that you met there than you can relate to me, right? So you're going to get around the top producers. You're going to get around the people who are doing it. You're going to get around people who are going to share their secrets, and you're going to have a great time because we're like family. So why wouldn't you want to come? And then one thing, you're losing money if you don't come, because now you're not paying to be somewhere where everyone's going to be successful. If you get around the room where everybody's successful, you're going to become successful. You stay in your home, you're not going to become successful. You're going to become doing the same thing. You're doing insanity. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting
exactly. That's what people do, and then eventually they fade out. So you got to change what you're doing and come into convention. And if you don't come in,
so now you got two people. You coming?
I'm coming. To be clear, President's Club is going to be in the house. Lead Performance Team is going to be in the house at Breakthrough. All my President's Club people, of course, we got a PC advantage for you. I've got some exciting stuff, so get your minds right for our Breakthrough event that's going to be going on. Brandon talked about investing, right? It costs money to come to the events. It's going to cost you money, but the return that you're going to get from knowledge, from association, from networking, the gold nuggets you're going to pick up. I can't tell you how many times I've picked up just like a singular gold nugget that has made me thousands of dollars, whether it's selling or building a business. And you're going to get so much out of it. But if you do not have a hotel room yet, right? Like if you're an agent, you've got a ticket, great. If you don't have a ticket, get a daggone ticket. If you do not have a hotel room, you need to get a hotel room. I believe the Host Hotel is sold out. So you got to get a nearby hotel, which is okay. Get a nearby hotel. And you'd be able to Uber over, take a bus over, no big deal, right? So get your hotel now. Don't wait, because then you might be 15 miles away. Don't wait. Get a hotel. Get locked in. And if you're a manager, now's the time to have those conversations and check with all your team, right? Do you have a hotel? Do you have a hotel? Great. Do you have a plane flight? Do you have it booked? And to start working through that with your team, so that way you get people showing up. And book your flights Monday. Do not book your flights Sunday, leaving early, because it's jam-packed all the way to the brim Sunday evening. We don't need people leaving, walking out of there. We got a half-empty room. Don't do that. Book your flight Monday, because you might miss that gold nugget Sunday night that will absolutely change your business, change your outlook. Brandon, any last thoughts, things to expect, things to come from the Manly organization?
Yeah, a lot. No, I mean, we're going to keep doing what we do, right? And I think as we kind of wrap up talking about investing, I know for those of you that are just getting started on the recruiting side, what I need you to understand is recruiting's not as instant as the sales side. So, if you get on this high and you're spending money on recruiting and you're just like a month later, you're like, I haven't found somebody who's massive producer yet. I think I'm going to stop doing the investments in a ZipRecruiter or PC or whatever you're doing. I think you gotta understand that the recruiting side is more delayed gratification. And I think that can be tough. Like Vinny has success selling. He can spend $1,000 on leads. He's going to go close 10,000 annualized premium. He's going to do it instantly. He's going to have some of that money drop into his bank account. With recruiting, he's going to be less patient because he's expecting that same ROI unless somebody tells him, hey, dude, be patient. Stay on track. Don't slow down on your recruiting just because a month later you're not seeing a $1 million producer. Keep going at it, because it's like you just keep etching away. Somebody that you recruit today may not do anything for 3 months, right? And so then let's say that, like, I always think about it like this: who am I going to miss out on? Because if I stop my recruiting, I was like, hey, Clay, man, I'm going rogue, right? I'm going rogue, man. I'm going to stop doing the ZipRecruiter ads. Which applicant am I not going to get that could change my business? Yeah. Like that next week, it could be that candidate, right? So yeah, I mean, you got to invest in your business, whether it's leads, whether it's recruiting. But what Vinny said is what I hear a lot of top sellers say is, I wish I would have started building my business faster. And they'll say that unprompted too. So if you're out there, like, and you're on, let's say Terry Edwards' team, and you're with Terry and you're like, you know what, Terry, I want to figure this out before I start recruiting people. Let Terry's validation of the business show them how to do it. Like, that's what he's there for, right? He's your upline. So he's going to help you develop your team. But if I would have waited till I figured it out and missed out on Vinny, like what if one of you would have recruited Vinny? I bet you're saying I would love to have Vinny on my team. Yeah, it's awesome. But if I didn't have that faith to just go ahead and recruit him, because I didn't know what I was doing, I just told y'all, like I'm over here, we're calling each other and we have no idea what we're doing, but I would have missed out on one of my top performers.
Right.
So I can't stand losing. And I don't want to lose Vinny because I'm too, I've got to figure everything out, Clay. Don't talk to me about building yet. I can't do that. I'll lose. And then somebody else recruits Vinny and I'm like, I knew him,
Right. And if you recruited Vinny today, as opposed to 4 years ago, you would have lost out on 4 years of income.
Yeah, true.
Big income.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I appreciate you guys being on. The message I want everybody to take away from this is if you want to live in the $10 an hour box and make $10 an hour, that's awesome. Congratulations. It's really easy to do those $10 an hour tasks, and it feels really good checking them off, right? You just check that box like, I did pending. Woohoo, I sent a client a card. That's great. But I want you to know you've got resources to delegate those $10 an hour work to, right? You got Benet and pending if you're in President's Club. You've got client cards you can send if you're in President's Club. You've got ZipRecruiter that you can just tell me you want a ZipRecruiter ad and I will make it happen. And now you've got recruits flowing into you. Why spend your time living in that $10 an hour box when you can just live in that $500 and $1,000 an hour buckets and print more money? So thank you guys for being on today. This is Brandon Manley. This is Vincenzo Napoli. My name is Clay Mertes at the Alliance Corporate Office. That's the end of the activity call. Breakthrough 10 days. Get your ticket, get your hotel, get your flight, baby. We'll see you in 10 days. Thank y'all. Have a good one.